Oh, you know I can counter that, right? Let's blight R1 down. All right, welcome back to the arena, Magic Arena. And we're going to try a brand new deck out. Brand new format. There's kind of a hierarchy of decks forming. I want to see if I can keep some of the leverage of attacking the Badger Mold decks and still having to play against other ones and see how that can get going in this meta. So I'm choosing to, let's see what Cats can do along with some Clarion Conquerors. So, but we're in Azorius colors, as you can see. Why would we do that? So primarily that's because of Enduring Curiosity. Enduring Curiosity, when it lands, is a rather busted card, and it is a cat. So why not be in there and get your built-in card draw while you're at it? Only playing 3, 2 or 4 might be correct, but we'll see. Also in blue, Wild Unraveling, a new straight-up counter spell if you have creatures you're willing to blight onto. So it costs 2 blue. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you can blight 2 or pay 1. So it can be a cancel or it can just be a counter spell. And in most situations, we have at least one creature we can let go of to blight onto. So if your deck building is correct, this is just counterspell. Is just counterspell good enough in standard? We don't know. That's what I kind of wanted to see with this build. Other than that, we have our Helpful Hunters as the 2-mana 1/1 that can replace itself. Airbender Ascension. So as our creatures come in and our tokens come in, we can start bouncing the token generators each turn. So bouncing Arabos, bouncing Regal Caracals, and even bouncing some other creatures for more ETBs. So you can just bounce any other creature to get the Arabo ETB, because whenever you play a non-token cat, you get a cat. So a lot of ways to just reuse this engine over and over again. And also on the top end, Elspeth Stormslayer. So this doubles our token production. It lets our tokens fly, which is part of the problem with cats, is that they're just on the ground most of the time. There are some flying cats, but they're slightly out of plan, but it's an option for future versions to go into the base flying cats as well. And also it provides you direct removal for larger creatures too. So yeah, that's most of the deck. You have some removal and Shelter by Ghosts and Seam Rip, some minor life gain and auto sizing based on having 3 or more creatures, and then Bozzery to either crank out cats every other turn or protect your whole board for 3, which is not a bad idea. And plus it's legendary, you don't want to see too many of them, but once you have one in play, drawing a second one as a protection spell is pretty good. And in the mana base, it's just straight up Azorius, typical stuff. And Anchorage to get over after a board clear. Cavern Souls, because we can just name cat and not get countered. Air Temple, just buff our board every turn. If we go wide, this Air Temple is just great. And then there, we want to look at the sideboard. So Artifact and Enchantment Hate, built in Spell Snare for those turns where we don't want to see a Badger Mole come down, so we just get that out the gate. Or other like 2-mana removal spells. Rest in Peace for graveyard decks, just shut them down from that part of the game plan. Negate, straight up non-creature spell hate. Clarion Conqueror, so we start with 2 in the main, and we have 2 on the board in case the matchup is very good for them. There's an argument for only running 3 and having something else in here, but once again, this is just the first version of the deck. Split up to try to craft a situation where you can clear out most of your opponent's important things and keep yours. Avatar's Wrath to actually get rid of most things. And if we airbend our token generators, we can just put them back down the next turn for 2 each and get our board built up again. So it's pretty good. And then the last kind of spicier, protection and also evasion. So we can exile X target artifacts and or creatures with spectral restitching, and then return the exile cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So if you need to get an attack through, or force a bad block, or just protect our key creatures, we can just cast this. Only one just to see, but yeah. Let's see how this runs. Give this deck a good try. See if we need to iterate on anything. I bet we do. The metagame right now is one where, as long as you know the major balancing forces, you can build a deck that still can do what you want to do that day, but also fight against those major paths. So the three-way balancing deck has been Badgermole decks, decks that beat up on Badgermole decks, and combo decks that beat up on those decks that beat up on Badgermole decks. So you just kind of pick your poison today and go at it. And today we're focusing on not losing to Badgermole and having play against other ones. All these lands, it's a bit too many. I do get to draw a card. I'm going second. It's the first try. I'm gonna see if it works. The plan is Plains on 1 for Basri. So Restless Reef. So this could be Excruciator combo, or it could just be another graveyard deck, or it could be Kaido. 3 different flavors out there. Let's start off with the Basri. And we'll continue to draw further and further with these hunters. Bounce. Alright, so they want time. I'm presuming this is the graveyard deck. So let's Hunter. Alright, Cavern. So they're in blue, so they might run counter spells. So I'll drop Cavern of Souls next turn. Yeah, this seems like Excruciator. Oh, value. Alright, so let's do what we were gonna say we're gonna do. You're still drawing lands. I don't like that, but Cat. Arabo. Swing for 2. Let's see what they got. Alright, Harvester to shrink the board. I bet they have a full board clear coming. I'm gonna Hunter just to make sure I can draw a card. This is a lot of land. Alright, let's play the one that can't be coming tapped. Swing in for 2. You might want to keep Basri open in case they really try to get max value out of a sweeper. Like they're trying to get... I don't know why they felt like they needed to use specific colors when you don't need to for that creature, but alright. Alright, so we can Verge, Arabo, Sheltered, but the menace isn't flying in our face. Then they probably just play Riddler. Okay, so they have cover up. Not enough in the graveyard to do much about that. Yeah. So they hit the Cats. Alright. Another Arabo. That's not bad. And then let's play our... Or do we leave it for protection? They see it already. I don't think they have another well, this could be an Excruciator turn. We might have just lost the speed game. So let's try to play out. Let's keep it up. They have the 6 black for Excruciator and the Reef. Cornucopia. So I guess that's the life gain angle they're playing green for. Alright. Are they playing Splash Portal? Because perhaps this is a different deck than I'm thinking of. Alright. They love to draw here. That's nice. Alright, well, we need to keep this for now. So much land. Oh my god. we got the wild unraveling, but this is an obscene amount of land. Let's get in with the anchorage. Oh, not that. Yep. And then let's map up the land in case they have more clears coming. And here's another land. Ooh, maybe 23 land is too many. I thought I was risking it because there's some 5-drops, but all right, let them stock up. Man, this is a lot of land. Oh, they have a destroy spell. Let's just see. Okay. Let's just go ahead and do that. Blight 2. All right. All right, so we can rip the cat, I think. Yeah. Get him with the anchorage again. This is getting silly. What is happening? Four, 8, 11 in the first 20. All right, so this is not his Cruciator. This is just like 3-color control with the Riddlers in talent. So the mid-range. And just a counterspell. What? There's so many other things that could be. We don't really have a combat mechanic other than Enduring Curiosity. We could draw an Elspeth or a Regal, but they can loop and stuff now. I think we just go to game 2 and not waste the time. I hope that's not the norm for this game, where we're just playing that over and over again, just drawing land. So they care about enchantments. They care about the graveyard. Let's add our stuff that does that. Activated ability on creatures. We haven't seen it. All right, so we haven't seen it, so let's not presume we're gonna have to worry about that. So let's get rid of those. They have a lot of board clear, so Shelter by Ghost isn't the best, but we still want some. Seam Rip also is not very good here, it seems, unless you're just getting rid of 1/1s, and that's not the best. Might come back in because we might want more. Well, let's get some negates in place of that. Do we want the restitching? It could help against board clears. Let's get the restitching in. 2 mana wise, those are 1 mana. That's, yeah, they're not very, on its face, they're not very 2 mana heavy. So I think this is fine. And we're trying to just go aggressive here. All right, game 2. All right, can we not draw 9,000? And of course, the next game you get the other side of the deck. 1 land is not good enough for this. And then we're back to us. Okay, I see what kind of day we're having. Well, I can't go to 4. Unraveling is not all that good here. Let's Fountain and pass. We have a bunch of 1 and 2 drops in our deck, by the way. No fooling. There's a lot of 1s and 2s in this deck. Alright, so negate. Let us put that on white. Keep it tapped. We need to build up some resources and or lands to protect what we play. They're just drawing, looking for board clears and whatnot. Okay, a naked ascension is probably fine because we can get the ETBs no matter what. Alright, we have another land. So we want another land or something else. And we have full mana for cancel as well, so we're not going to be caught out by them playing a threat here. Alright, so let's play this Rest in Peace so they can't get frisky later. If they brought in counter spells, they probably use it here. Alright, no more graveyard games. Cornucopia, alright. Oh, so they awaken the Honor Dead to get rid of the Rest in Peace. Alright, we have cancel up. I think we still are waiting for a better opportunity here. Full Riddler. Let's pass on that. Alright, so we have this. So now we can play the Arabo, get 2 Ascension triggers, and hold up the Unraveling. They probably have a removal spell for the 2/2. Yep, they have the Hex for the 2/2. They probably have another one too. Alright, they brought the seat back. Are they gonna try to raw cast that? Oh. They want to just tiptoe into it. Okay. Gain that life. They used 2 black. But they want to peel a spell out of my hands. I think I let them. No, I don't, because what if they're trying to use like a splash portal or something? Alright, what else you got? You probably got Cavaro to do it again. Oh, cover up. To get rid of either a wild Unraveling or an Arabo. Alright, I think both of those are okay. We have other threats. We already used 2 of the wild Unraveling, so. Alright, all the Arabos out. Sheltered by ghosts. Absolutely useless. But we have a raid for the Cornucopia if we need it. Alright. And we're drawing land again. Drawing land again. I can't believe I'm drawing land again. Does my deck hate me or just want to see me sad again? Alright, I want them to try to activate that. Alright. I thought this was instant speed for a second. So they needed to do that right now to not lose out on the value. Oh, they're not going to leave it out for me to kill it because they know it will die. That's smart. I am playing creatures in this deck, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. They stripped 4, 12. Maybe the creature count should go up. I think I presume that some of the card draw would be great, but I've drawn none of the card draw. So that's a problem. At this point, I'm just sleepwalking it. Let's get out of here. My deck, I believe, would have game against their deck because their ways to deal with my stuff aren't all that efficient because they're 1-for-1s or board clears. I can counter the board clears and I go wider than 1-for-1. No fun. Was that just an anecdotal match or was that a sign that we need more creatures? Because it felt like we needed more creatures. Let's take a quick assessment and we'll do another. I was only going to play one game, but let's do an assessment, see if we can. I think we went down the Conquerors. That's 2 creatures as well that we left out. If you want more creatures, we can go down. Maybe down and Unraveling. Oh, we put back in its place. We want a creature that optimally it's a cat that draws cards, but how me have that? Let me see. Type cat and draw. Is that the right filter? I think it is. So I guess I was being too specific on the card, on the word draw, on the word, yeah. Oh, is it K? I think it was K specific. Okay. So Kutsul, if we were in green, it requires a board. At max speed, you get to draw a card. Yeah. In terms of cats, that's it. But in terms of just draw and draw that's on a creature body. That's a sheep. Enduring Innocence actually isn't awful. It's not a cat, but all the cats trigger it. At least pre-Regal or pre-multiple Arabo. I think this is a missing piece. I think. What do we make? How do we make room for that? We drop it on Unraveling. We drop. We don't want to lose any of our existing draw, so we don't want to drop the Curiosity or the Stock Up. Drop it on Unraveling. Maybe drop a Conqueror. And we're just stronger on Conqueror out of the board. And the one is just in case we run into game 1 and we can find one. Yeah, let's run it like that. That's 2 more cards that could draw cards. It does still depend on not just drawing land because Innocence into Nothing is still not card draw. So. And the other question was, is 23 land too many? The curve is relatively low outside of these 7 cards. Let's presume that was luck. And we're at 22 creatures now, so let's give this a run. Live debugging of the deck. See how this runs. And that is a part of the testing and deck building process where you kind of want to make sure that you only make assessments for certain things over larger numbers of games. When I looked at the number of creatures in my deck while playing that game, I felt it was too low. Not based on what the game was, but the number looked bad to me. So that's why I was like, you know what, I should make this change now instead of trying to wait for several. So this gives us a creature and a response to an early thing, and then we can draw into a land or something else. So I think that's just fine on one. And we can start off with the Basri. And then if they don't present a threat, maybe we exert Basri just to get a little wider. But presuming that they play something, we might want to seam rip it. But they mulliganed once. They're looking to put one to the bottom, it looks like. 1, 2, 4, 5. Yeah. So, yep. So, shock a fountain, play a Basri, and pass. There's always the question of do you swing in instead of going wider? We drew a land, so next turn we can play Innocence. So actually I want to attack and then actually no, if I exert now, next turn I can play Innocence, and the turn after that I can exert again if I needed to draw the card. So let's do this now then. And then let's pass. So they don't want to get countered, and they're a ninja deck. Prehistoric Pet. This changed our game plan. Can't be blocked by a creature with greater power. Return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. Activate only during your turn. So that's a bounce efficiency. I don't think I should be scared of that immediately. The question is, do I play Arabo first or Enduring? I think we want the card draw to make sure we keep drawing land. So let's play Enduring and keep it going. So black, white, blue. All right. Can't be blocked. I can't block that by the instance. I'm going to keep my cat. They're going to ninja something out, I presume. All right. They left blue up to Mockingbird Basri. I mean, that's interesting. All right. Let's Arabo. This will draw us a card and buff our cats. All right. Let's pay 2 life. And then let's get rid of any of these. Let's get rid of Shredder. And then let's swing in with the 2/2 and the 2/1. I don't think we're depending on that anymore, so let's send all 3 in. I think we need to be aggressive. Alright. So they kept their flying Basri, so they can use their ninja or sneaks as they wish while they keep that in play. Oh, I love a land drop this next turn so I can regal. Second Dark Leo. Alright, they got a blocker. They got a Prehistoric Pet. And I presume they copy Basri again? Oh, a pet again. Okay. But cat. So now our board is going to be a little bit better now. Alright, so let's send these guys in. I'm not going to send my Rabo in. It'd be weird if they triple blocked it, but at this point, unless one of their cards is a board clear, I think they're done. I wouldn't expect that deck to run a board clear, so swinging with everything. Oh, they get Death Touch. That makes it look like a board clear, but I don't care. What you got? What you got, partner? You decided to gain 2 life. You think that's going to save you? Okay. Alright, so they are a tiny creature ninja deck. I haven't seen their gas because there's no way that that's what they were going after. It's just Dark Leo, and that's their whole game plan. The Death Touch is annoying. I'll give them that. But outside of the Mockingbird, the evasion hasn't been shown yet outside of Prehistoric Pet. And I could have just blocked the pet before and never even had to deal with that. So against a creature deck that I think wants to go wide, I think we want to make sure that we have a way to reset the board. So split up. The seam rips are still good. Ascension, maybe one less Ascension. In terms of activated abilities, I wasn't scared of this very much, but I'll keep an eye on that and drop the Conqueror for now. Other than that, I mean, maybe restitching, but I don't think we know enough yet. Let's see if they have other angles to attack from. All right, this is a balanced hand. All right. Actually, I would love a second creature in here, but Basri into Ascension or Basri into Sheltered is good here. Let's keep it. All right, so they're going to play a Ninja on 1. All right, so the Sneaker. All right, Basri out. So we actually profit. This is actually a profitable Ascension because it bounces it, but it makes it cost 2. So it costs more than it originally did. Usually they're getting a discount on it. That we don't have a creature. How important is it? Let's depend on our deck to find us another creature. All right, we got it. And then let's set them back a turn. So no sneaking is happening in this turn at least. Dream Beavers, all right. All right, so let's in Vanguard, no matter what. That gives us an Ascension take. The question is, do we want to Sheltered? If we Unraveling, then we lose our Vanguard. Let's make them have the removal. Both of those can get in. Let's take away the one that pumps the other ninjas. Are they doing a sneak or a ninjutsu? Ninjutsu, okay. Well, with that available mana, they're not tapping down my creature. Oh, and they just pass? Okay. So I will swing at Kaido to put some pressure on it and then pass. And I keep the full cancel open. All right, Dream Beavers, that's fine. Because I can see him rip that. Making the ninjas larger, alright. What's this? We're sneaking the Kaido itself? Oh. Well, I think this is the difference. In that you can counter sneaks. It is a spell cast, not just an activated ability. Alright, so... Cat. First Fang. Get rid of Shredder. We can't stop them ninjutsuing the Kaido, so let's get some life. And now, if you get a creature this next turn, our Ascension can start bouncing Narabo. Alright. I mean, I don't mind that. That's not a creature, though. That's nothing that I want to send in, so I guess I gotta pass. Passively gain a life there. Ninjutsu. Alright. They got in for 4. Surveil 2, draw a card. Yes, you do. Alright, they're getting wider. They're getting wider. I mean, I like Air Temple. I would much prefer a creature, though, but let's just do this face up. I would love to swing in with the Vanguard. Then that just buffs all the ninjas if I swing that in. So let's keep it going. Now I can at least chump some attacks. Now I mean, I can block. I can just block here. And block the big one. Gain a life. Or gain 4 life. So I get some of the life back. Right, so we really need to draw a creature here. Again. 2 games isn't quite enough to determine that we need less lands. But it's looking like it. Mockingbird. So they're eating off of our cards, and we are not drawing more of our cards. Curiosity, actually good. All right, so the question is, do we wait on the Curiosity? If we play Curiosity now, it doesn't change anything because we can't get through, but we might get a surprise block, and I don't know if they're playing counter spells. So let me put this down on blue, tapped, and pass. They might be able to get a good block because this will be a 5/4 because of Arabo on block. They keep looking at Leonin. I think they want to remove it. Alright, and they do. Everything is larger again. These ninjas. So I gave us some blockers. Block the 7/8. There's a lot of damage coming in no matter what it looks like. Block the 2/2. Block the 5/5. So now I get to blink Arabo. I really love the Regal Caracal here. That ain't it, but So we're struggling. I think the flyers just get us here though. We gain 1 life and they give us 5 flying damage. Yeah, I think we're cooked here because we're just too late on that creature. Yeah, the flyers are the problem here. And we never drew the split up. The split up would have been great here. Drawing anything early would have been great. Yep. All right, let's go to game 3. So shutting down Kaido is a great reason to bring these Conquerors back in. Hex, Ronin. Yeah, so sneaks can be countered. That's good. For bringing in the clearing Conquerors again, maybe stock up is too slow here. We still want the split ups in case we get behind. Still want the ghosts. We still want most things. I mean, let's trim a land. I mean, I'm feeling already just feeling the land pressure. And then let's drop, let's say a Basri. We don't draw 2 of those. It hurts our ability to like 1, 2, 3, but drawing 2 of them, like I don't want more opportunities for the deck to just fall on itself. All right. Oh, actually, this is a decent. All right, let's do that. So we can go 1, 2, and then see what we draw after that. So Vanguard, Helpful Hunter as a draw, and then we can just play the islands. Dream Beavers. Do we shelter the beaver so they can't? If we're planning on playing Conqueror on 3, I think we want, if they're gonna ninja, we want them to not do their thing. I think that's what it is. And they cannot deal with this on turn 2. I don't believe. Unless they brought in nowhere to run. Well, looks like they did not. So let's play this on white. And then play Conqueror. While they were shields down. Now Kaido doesn't do much unless they kill Kalarian. Oh, straight up Kaido. Okay. Wait, what? I'm not sure why they... Oh, because they couldn't. It literally does nothing. All right, so I think we keep the counter spell up. I don't even care if that exists for now. If I don't let them have creatures, they just die. So they're on a 3-turn clock here. And we're preserving it here by leaving the counter spell up. All right, so we can't counter that. So, Plains. Helpful Hunter. This is our Vanguard grow. All right, so they're holding priority. What's the Flash Ninja? I'm not sure. I guess we're going to learn today, huh? Oh, you know I can counter that, right? Let's Blight. R1. All right, now you're at 4. Their plan was just to double block on the Vanguard, leave a 1/1 behind, so they can get their Dreamweaver back, which would get them a life, make us lose a life, and they would scry 1. That would be the beginning of the comeback, but their Planeswalkers are still dead until they find removal. If all they have is Requiting Hex in hand, they can't deal with this. So, yeah. And it might have been to our benefit that we never showed them that we had a Conqueror, even in our board. So, yeah. And that one ran better. So I think I like the concept of the deck. I think it's just a solid, well-supported internal theme of cats and going wide. Some internal draw synergies. The Enduring Innocence, I believe, is key. Even if we only get to play it the one time, we just added it in. I think I like this. We do need to iterate on this. I'm not sure of the one of Clear and Conquer in the main. The Wild Unravelings, I kept drawing them in naked boards, which is fine if you have the mana, and not if you don't. And yeah, I like the deck. I'm really liking it. But if you guys have any tips or like what kind of direction you want to see this moved into, let me know in the comments. I'm open to all of them. I will try them all out. Well, the ones that make a difference to the actual gameplay, I'll try them all out. And we'll see that in the next video. I will definitely have another video on this deck in particular in a version 2. So stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe if you will. It helps out the channel a lot to try to grow. Thank you for your time tonight. Good night.